I love coming up with Thank you, one.
Yes.
Please don't all for the records, and I will put the minutes outside.
Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Nassau County School Board. I would ask that you please silence your cell phones and stand and join us as Dr. Falgren leads us in prayer and Ms. Cook in the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless the teachers, administrators, and support personnel who have served our students and parents this year. Help our families to have a safe summer vacation and help us make good decisions tonight that honor our commitment to the families of Nassau County. Amen.
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members, please be sure your microphones are on. Mr. Hackett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The meeting of the Nassau County School Board is a public meeting. Citizens are welcome to comment on agenda items during the meeting. Citizens wishing to comment on matters which are not on the official agenda should fill out the sign-up sheet maintained in the back of the room, indicate the speaker's name, address, and topic to be discussed. A limited 3-minute applies to public comment unless extended by the vote of the board. The public is reminded that any request to have an item placed on the board's agenda must first be submitted to the superintendent. Our guests are also reminded that any request from the board to consider disciplinary action against a school district employee or any presentation of factual complaints against a district employee will be considered out of the order and cannot be heard by the board without first having a recommendation for disciplinary action from the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hackett. Board members, have you received your agenda and addendum?
Yes.
Do I have any changes this evening? Dr. Falgren?
I'd like to request that we move E5 and E6 for the consent agenda to action items.
So they will become action item D and E. Any other changes this evening? Dr. Falgren?
I would like to add under discussion items, discussion item A, board workshop request, discussion item B, repository for board professional education documentation, and C, use of wildlife name clarification update.
I'm sorry, what was the B?
The repository for our professional education documentation.
Any other changes this evening?
What was that on that discussion?
So we have discussion item A, the our board workshop request. Discussion item B, repository for professional development, professional education documents. And C, the use of the wildlife name update. Then we've also moved consent agenda items 5 and 6 to action item D and E. Any other changes or additions this evening? Dr. Ruth?
Madam Chairman, I recommend adoption of the agenda as amended.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. I'm not aware of any presenters this evening, so we'll move to the consent agenda. Dr. Ruth?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I would recommend adoption of the, approval of the consent agenda as adopted.
Do I have a motion?
Motion with question?
Yes, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we'll start with Mr. Dionis.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is under number 4, the approval contract for the Century Ambulance Service. Dr. Lewis, is this an annualized or not an annualized contract? Was it, is it something that's negotiated longer than 12 months?
Yeah, we've had that contract with them, with Century, for a number of years now, so that we have those services available at our football games.
Okay. Well, and the rate is fabulous. I
Yeah.
was just curious if it had gone out, or if there was a time when we put that out for bid, or even the county to do the services, or...
Well, there was a time when the county emergency services would come basically free of charge to the games, and of course, unless they had to leave, and sometimes they did, and anyway, that's been a long time ago. But we, for a number of years now, I couldn't tell you how many years we've had that contract with Century, and at that time, they were they were the best value, and so
Yes.
we have renewed that with them for a number of years, and they've been reliable, in their service, and something that we do to try to protect our kids and to provide some care for them, and keep our fingers crossed, not have to transport them in an emergency situation, but you never know.
Amen. So, thank you. That was all.
Dr. Burns?
A couple questions, Madam Chair. This is under item 3, travel, outside travel, and this is for ESC personnel to transport students within Nassau Place, St. John's Duval, and Camden. Are we transporting them for services or?
Ms. Gregory, can you answer that better than mine?
No, we are not transporting them for direct service. It's for other appointments that they might have, orientation or mobility, vision, audiology, something along those lines.
During the school day?
Yes, ma'am, during the school day.
A couple other questions.
Go ahead, Dr. Burns.
On the inventory, the junk inventory, on the last page is a van. Facilities vehicles. Are we, what are we going to do? Are we having a sale, or what are we doing with, there are several items here, but the van is something that stood out to me, because I know sometimes there are other agencies who are looking for transportation vehicles.
There's several options that we have available to us when we, surplus vehicles. I mean, we can donate them to other governmental agencies, or we can donate them to nonprofits, or we can auction them. You want to address that, Mr. McKee?
I'm not sure what's on there, I haven't seen it, but
Sir, could you come up? Thank you.